And it is finals day, day 4 of the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 1 2025 edition. We have a bronze medal match in the women's division here. Ellipsis, Asterisk in the dark kit. You see them huddling up before game against Rogue out of New South Wales in the pink. This is Avril Tam here, joined by Emma Jaeger. Emma, what are we looking forward to seeing today?
I am looking forward to seeing this game so much. So yesterday we saw windy conditions, which definitely played a bit of havoc for our teams. Let's have a look at this roster before we go.
Yeah, so this is a team studded with stars here. Lippy lost a heartbreaker to Manly Mavericks in their semi-final, which puts them in this bronze medal match. Lyra Meehan, captain, alongside Jess Parks. They've both been working particularly hard on offense. Same with Panya Preston. She's been bobbing up for a few, but we've got the likes of Eva Weatherall, as well as the Chong sisters have been really involved. Georgia, Ian Griffiths, of course. So plenty of Australian representatives here on that star-studded line. And I'm sure they'll be hungry to get this job done to make amends for that semi-final loss.
Yeah, and heartbreak for Rogue as well yesterday, coming up against the sister Ellipsis team, Ellipsis ampersand. So yeah, like I said, wind playing havoc yesterday. It's windy again today, so we'll see. Now let's have a look at this Rogue roster.
So we've got also some really good Aussie representation as well. Angela Pigeon, Maddie Owens, they were starring in Gold Coast at the World Ultimate Championships. Eunice Chung, of course, a very strong handler. I'm sure the windy conditions won't deter her at all.
Yeah, definitely. So I was actually commentating the ampersand Rogue game yesterday, and Cheong, she stepped up. She was doing the absolute most work in that handler space. So super excited to see how she goes today. So we're going to start off with Ellipsis with the pull, pulling to Rogue, who will start on offense.
It's interesting, the first morning slot, probably not as windy. The gust is starting to blow up a little.
Yeah, and there's some clouds that look a little bit foreboding over to the left side of the screen as well. So, I mean, we are right next to the beach, so it does tend to get a little bit on the windy side down here, especially as we get a bit later in the day. But both of these teams are full of elite women, so, you know, shouldn't be too much of a problem for them, surely.
Yeah, the wind feels like it's blowing kind of towards the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe left to right, so a bit of like a crosswind here.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I wouldn't want to be getting caught on that left sideline at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ellipsis won the toss and elected to start on this end, just with a slight downward advantage, making Rogue potentially work upwind. So looking forward to a cracker here, Emma, as the pool goes up. Meehan with a float. Bub picks up immediately up to Chung. Pigeon in the cutter space. They've clearly isolated her. She goes a big puck of her own, and Ruiz perfectly waited for her to grab high. And looking for Owens. Small dishy up, Ladamados. She's looking, but there's not much movement, so opts for the swing across to Ruiz, and that is just a dump swing, but not yet score. Pigeon on the doorstep. And you can see the wind gusting up, so players a little nervous, and that one bounces out on Ladamado's hands. Ellipsis pick it up to get things going quickly. Parks. A nice attacking cut here by Preston. Parks offers the upline, looked off. Has to wait for Egan Griffiths to get into the dump space. And that one, just a little miscommunication to Correa Gomez. So Rogue get another shot here on offense. Moves it up to Owens. And this one, a bladey flick, but Bub in the space, despite heat from Jess Park, scores a goal for Rogue.
Yeah, so both of these girls are being absolutely excellent over the entire tournament. Absolutely beasts on the field. And that is exactly the connection that we're looking for today. So Rogue with a hold to start.
Uncharacteristic, that miscommunication, and they really gave away the disc here. So Asterisk maybe a few jitters now coming out. They've had a couple of tough losses against Manly, and that might be playing in the back of their minds.
Yeah, definitely. You know, part of the game is psychological. It's about, you know, having those hard games and then being able to just reset your mind and go back in and bring it today. You know, every game's a new game. And so, you know, we all start from 0-0 and off we go.
So it's a hold by Rogue, not a particularly convincing one, but as we said, the conditions potentially contributing to that.
Yeah, definitely. I think anything that these teams are going to get that are going to be upwind are going to be super crucial in this game, because I just feel like this wind is going to keep picking up and it is very, very hard to throw in that. I'm not envious of anyone on the field right now.
Rather be in the commentary booth. And a big pull goes up from Osmond. Get a look at Lippy's O-line. No surprises, Karimar picking up. But Rogue get down with good defensive pressure straight away. Pressure on the first pass. 1-2 with Tracy Chong. And so Rogue have brought a zone look. You can see the 3 players here in the front. Oh, that one just slips past, but well done by Ruby Anderson. Dishy back to Ma. Fakes along. High release flick now. Comes up to meet it. O'Connor now in the backspace. So cycling through their handler set and their poppers nicely. And Rogue opt to continue this zone look despite being quite close to the end zone. Chong. Oh, and that was just a fumble by O'Connor. Weren't on the same page. O'Connor had just stepped forward, the disc just falling behind her. And Rogue trapped on this sideline, but they do well to swing it across to Chua. And held up now. Ball count rising, but Carpenter now makes use of this break side. She's got a bid, she doesn't, and the disc falls to ground. Disc too far for Sabrina Xian to pick up.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to have a zone, a little kind of poachy in the middle moment.
A hammer upstairs. Ooh, landed onto Ruby Anderson's face, but she chucks the hat just to get the defense on. Moves it up to Chua. Up line to Light. Light doing the discipline thing. Swinging back to the high side. Now the disc is worked up to Shen. Lots of pivots, but again, nice break around to Carpenter. She fakes a big backhand. Cuts just not open enough for her liking, but Chua gets open now. Rogue very close here. This is a prime opportunity they need to take early against teams like Ellipsis, and they do. So Chua to Sutton for the first break of the game.
Yeah, and that's a really important one for Rogue. Upwind break. Those are going to be absolutely crucial throughout this game, considering that nasty, nasty wind. Excellent work from the team from Rogue. You know, the defense is putting on immense pressure. They are forcing them to, you know, get to stall 6, 7, 8 before they're making these throws.
See this hammer from Karimar. So Ruby Anderson, she was in prime position, but that wind kind of gusted up and blew the disc into her face and probably had to blink her eyes as a reflex and lost vision. Always a tricky one. So as you said, the stall count rising on pretty much all of these possessions, but Chua points and Sutton just attacks that space. Just caught unawares there, Chong, unable to get a bit on that. So she threw it into a fair bit of congestion, but Rogue do well enough to score that break point.
Yeah, beautiful work from Rogue. Hands up right at the end. Going, oh goodness. If only I had eyes in the back of my head. As we see some sideline hype from the Ellipsis girls.
Yeah, this is from their other team, Ampersand. They will be competing in the gold medal match. That one to come a little bit later. So in the meantime, before they get warmed up, trying to get their Asterisk counterparts going. Eliana Rico now, that is a lovely pull, but distance good, direction not so much.
Yeah, I just think that might have been the wind influence going on there. It is getting to a decent crosswind So I would not be surprised if, we're going to take that brick.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be stuck on that sideline.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I mean, it is Karima we're talking about. I mean, if she wants an extra challenge, I'm sure she'd be up to the task. But like you said, just does the team thing. Moves a disc to the brick mark centre. Moves up to Weatherall. Weatherall goes a big shot. She's targeting Meehan. Meehan too good there for Owens. Couple of pivots. Teammates arrive now, but a lot of congestion in the end zone, so goes behind to Chong. And Rogue do well to force it backwards. Janacek is marking Egan Griffiths, and there is a foul called.
I think that might have been a foul on the thrower, potentially.
Yeah, marking infringement, I suspect.
Yep.
And you can see the slight jiggle in the camera. The wind certainly is gusting up. Egan Griffiths finally jinks free of Janacek. And this one, open space. Oh, and a sneaky bid there, but Ellipsis get the job done via Weatherall.
Yeah, Lamb was, she was stalking, she was creeping. She wanted that, but just too good in that end zone there.
Plenty of high fives. You can see Rogue intent on keeping their spirits high. Rogue certainly are a bit of an energy team, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They bring the hype to the tournament. Lots of little dance parties, lots of love around the team, everything you want in a team sport, which is why I really love Ultimate. Hey, it's very, very team orientated and just excellent vibes.
It was interesting there. As the point ended, you saw the leaders of this Ellipsis team, Meehan, Egan Griffiths and Karima, huddling together for a quick chat. It's pretty early in the day, but maybe just trying to settle some of their strategy, working out, hey, are we going to put on a big D line here to try and earn that break back? Sure, Lippy won't be satisfied to be down a break for too much longer. Oh,
absolutely not. We know Lippy, and they are a quality team. They're not going to let that go unanswered. Oh, what is going on there?
There's the Asterisk chant going up there and some body gestures to match. So, pull now from Asterisk. That one also blading just out of bounds. So, Lanamatos, I suspect, will bring it to the brick mark.
Yeah, look, if that landed in, whew, that's a dangerous position to be in. But just the winds just carried it at the extra metre. And I believe we're going to be coming in on the brick mark. That little X that you can, there you go, you can see it. It looks like we've set up with a zone. My goodness. All right, this is going to be interesting. Good option, the zone today, considering the wind. So let's see what Rogue can do to break it.
And Chung looking to break it immediately. You see the cup trying to force the disc to this close sideline, as we said, a very perilous place to be. So Chung pivoting to move the cup. Small ball, Latamatos. You see the cup collapsing in to prevent those crashes, so Latamatos has to go backwards to Owen. Again, just trying to work the small ball, crashing into the cup, but not having a lot of continuation, but Chung doesn't care what there is. She just puts it up to space, but Liddell stands and blocks that one. So no surprises here. Ellipsis earning a break opportunity of their own. Swings it to Chong. Sorry, Preston. Moves it up to Botham Clark. Pigeon, a big mark, and that is a high floaty shot, but Parks pulls it down, and that one is an overthrow, but can Brass clean up the scraps? She does with the polish. Parks sneaks one through to Valancourt through plenty of bodies, and now a high release option riding the wind. And there's a pick called, so that will slow things up.
Yeah, let's have a look here. Overthrow, but Brass says absolutely not. And huge bid as well.
Yeah, you can feel the intensity from both sides. Like we said, wanting to make revenge for those semi-final losses. A medal to play for here. 4th place. You won't finish with anything around your neck at the end of the tournament.
Yeah, high stakes, high stakes. So just had a little bit of input from our game advisor. We're going to tap it in. Ellipsis is going to get going.
Little dish here back to Valancourt. And moves it up to Parks. So they're close to getting this break back, and that high release of Valancourt does it. So Ellipsis Asterisk claw this break back, and aren't they excited?
Oh my goodness. That was the Selly is crazy. Hey, the big spike. She is so hyped. Yeah, sneaky little one over the top. Dangerous in the wind, but let's have a look at this. Parks looking. No options. But that's Valancourt coming through, absolute clutch up the line. Dangerous.
For sure, and Valancourt actually having played with Rogue previously in the past, residing in Sydney, now in Melbourne, having been with Ellipsis for several seasons. So I'm sure she'll be happy to get one back against the whole team.
Yeah, a little bit of rivalry going on there. So we hear a whistle from our game advisor, just letting everyone know. Chop, it's almost time to pull.
So very similar O-line here for Rogue, but they have brought Eliana Rico across. She has plenty of firepower in her throws.
Yeah, so looking at a break either pace with our start here.
Egan Griffiths puts up a nice floater. Just a little dump from Rico to Chung. Just two-handers back at the moment. Oh, zips one through to Bub. She controls it well, and they've broken free of the defense. Ruiz through to Barb. That one too much spice. Lewis picks up for Asterisk. Doesn't like the first few looks, so goes an inside flick. Correa Gomez attacking that disc. Same as Law. Egan Griffiths. Swings to Lewis. Fakes a big inside and then around. Opts for the open side throw. Preston now. 1-2 with Egan Griffiths. 1, 2, 3, and they move across to the far side. Lewis again has to holster. Eventually goes for a swing to Chong. So Julie Chong now. There's a bit of contact downfield. Pick is called, so the disc will come back.
Yeah, so just having a bit of a discussion about whether that was affecting the pass. So we'll just see where this disc comes back into. And Ellipsis looking strong with the small ball, hey.
Yeah, for sure. They know how to work the disc, but you see Owens with the assignment on Egan Griffiths, waving her arms, stops those first few passes and makes the score count rise. So good defensive pressure here from Rogue. They don't want to get broken again. Correa Gomez almost trips over, but keeps the feet. And score count must have been 8 or 9. Gomez with the 1-2 and a continue. And that is Valancourt with the second goal in a row.
Wow, end to end. Hey, I almost think that was the exact same cut, wasn't it? Rinse and repeat. If it works once, why not? Excellent work by Ellipsis and excellent work by Rogue as well. They were really putting on the pressure. Lots and lots of little passes, having to look back for those dumps and resets. So we see the hype around the Ellipsis team. And aren't they happy?
Yeah, I think that second break has really knocked the wind out of the Rogue sails.
And calling a timeout as well, just to reset. Look at that.
And Valancourt just gets steps ahead of Pigeon there.
What an absolute class receiver. And with the Selly as well. Excellent work. I do love a good Selly, hey.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting, as we mentioned a bit earlier on the stream. Rogue are a energy team. So Ellipsis Asterisk, I'm sure part of their strat today would have been about winning the energy and the hype battle, right? You know, they've got their sister team on the sideline here in support, so they've got almost double the voices that Rogue do. And no surprises, the leadership there, pretty happy after getting broken early on. A nice way to settle with 2 breaks straight now to put the pressure straight back onto Rogue.
And just finishing up from the 5-6 games. A couple of Fish Trick players there.
You can see the dance party continues on. Sure, they want to try and urge Ellipsis to get up in the first half before they head off for their own warm-up.
Yeah, definitely having a sideline presence can really almost make or break a game. Just having those extra voices just to bring you up when you're a little bit down. Oh, and there's Greenie with the moves as well on the stats today.
Greenie wanting to join in on the party. No surprises at all. He's got some fantastic moves in the dance floor, Emma.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Although some might say otherwise, I'm not sure. He's looking at me, giving me a little cheeky grin. So Rogue trying to bring up the energy coming into this point. Let's see what they've got. I think we're going to see a couple of players that are going to really, we're going to have to see people step up, hey, and take the charge, take the lead. I have seen, so Bob and Owens have been real standouts in the past few games, so I'm looking forward to seeing a few more from them, although I can see Bob on the sideline. I can't see Owens on the field, I believe, so maybe a big sideline presence from them.
Yeah, I just want to mention, so the last 2 points were breaks. The first break point was an upwind break, and we saw that these were very valuable, particularly yesterday in the afternoon when the wind was gusting up. I think across multiple games here, getting that upwind break and then being able to break a second time immediately, getting 2 breaks up really has a big advantage here because you force your opponent to work upwind that second time, and, and that opportunity for another break is a little higher if the skill level across the throwing is not as deep. But Rico with a very deep arsenal moves it up to Janacek. So again, Ellipsis setting their zone up. We've got 3 in the cup up front, but a high shot there does make it all the way to DeSantos Lee. Exchanges with Janacek, swinging to Rico now. Tar up to Lai. Oh, and Owens has to bid, but that just a bit too spicy. So Ellipsis again on offense. They are working it up very quickly. Now things are a little stalled once the defense gets set. Chin waves for the cuts to come under. Nice around break there to Egan Griffiths. She goes a big shot. That one is going to be pushed, but pushed into the hands of Charlotte Botham-Clark.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. Hey, my goodness. So yeah, that downwind, as they said, they're selling on the sideline. I love it. But yeah, no, we do see that downwind just pushing that disc just a little bit further. You're going to see some big, big hucks coming up today going on that downwind direction. And yeah, I just want to give a little shout out to, sorry, before we do that, let's have a look at this. Hey. She says, off you go. I'm going to send it.
And why not when CBC was steps ahead, no defender in sight. You can trust Egan Griffiths to have calibrated her throws. She knows how to use the wind to her advantage.
Yep.
So she knows extra. So you see, she doesn't put the full power. She kind of holsters a little bit so that it doesn't zip too far away. But Botham-Clark, fantastic receiver. Looking forward to seeing her in the under-24 world competition later this year.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to point out just a little bit about the Ellipsis zone. So they are trying to, so I want to number one shout out Brass on the mark. Absolutely excellent job she's been doing. Incredible work. Trying to stop that from the disc from going back to the high side. So that's really, really powerful considering this wind that's continuing to pick up as we head through this game.
So energy remaining high from Ellipsis. As we said, Rogue a little silenced. Good pressure on that first option. And they make a nice gainer up to Ruiz. Owens calling for the disc, a nice undercut. And a violation. So a heavy mark here by Correa Gomez. They will have a chat.
Yeah, so just having a bit of discussion, maybe some contact or something? I'm not too sure. But having a bit of a chat, and we're going to come in on 0 from the looks of things. Well, violation again. Maybe something happening downfield, just making sure people are set before we begin.
So Correa Gomez, no arounds is the call for her. And so everyone else is making sure that they cover that open side and upline strike, but another violation is called.
Yeah, so coming back in on 0 again.
So it's an accepted, maybe accepted contact call of some sort, and Correa Gomez didn't drop, so the violation is called to stop play. Just a little issue back to Pigeon. She moves the mark of Chong, but spears one through to Chung. Oh, and that one, Pigeon just not realizing that Chung was looking for that option, slapped out emphatically. So with 64 meters now to work up. Julie Chong back in her defending end zone at the moment. Release foul provided by Egan Griffiths. A lot of movement, but not clear options. So Lewis now, she goes a huck that one. Jess Parks out reads Bub. Ellipsis continuing to move the disc with a lot of composure. Using the small upline space and looking for Jess Parks. She goes up against Bub again. That is 2-zip for Parks on Bub. Knocking on the doorstep, there is a call.
I think potentially maybe a pick call. Just catching up to her player there, Miss Chung. Coming in on 6. Getting to a higher stall. Let's see what Parks can do with it.
Oh, there's a foul called. So Correa Gomez goes to the disc. Angela Pigeon tries to get a block, but Correa Gomez says that she was infringed on her bid.
Yeah, so we'll have a bit of a discussion here. Game advisor just stepping in. Let's have a little bit of a look-see. Coming through. Oh, okay.
A lot of bodies there.
A lot of bodies. And excellent camera work to get that one as well by Michael Palmer over there. So let's see what some head nods and yeah. Let's see. So this is day 4 of the tournament. We are tired legs, let me tell you. Now, what's the call? Accepted contact from the looks of things. And you told me, Avril, that it's no longer uncontested, it is accepted as per the new rulings. Let's have a look here.
Yeah, just removing that double negative to make it, oh, so Pigeon got a piece of that disc, but it looks like Correa Gomez feels that her arm was infringed, but she goes some fakes. Oh, and that's a fantastic D by Ruiz. Catches that one outright ahead of Lewis. So Rogue now with a long way to work, and there's a bid there by Ung, unable to keep that one off the floor. Julie Chong, that is a blady shot, trailing away, but read perfectly by PP Panya Preston.
Wow, those are so hard to read, aren't they, Avril? As they're going over the top of your head with the wind. It takes every little brain cell just to make those connections and get your body in position there. And yeah, we just saw almost a conservation of greatness, didn't we? That big turn, everyone's excited on Rogue. Have a look here. Bit over the top, huge bid there by but not quite enough.
And Chong here having the confidence to pick it up straight away, realizing that Panya Preston was isolated in a 1-out. Always advantageous to defense, having to scramble. So I like Lippy's confidence now working into this game. I think the difference really has been that they've been able to adjust their throws to the conditions, whereas Rogue not being able to calibrate as well or as quickly.
Yeah, so we're looking 4 breaks in a row, I believe. Looking at our beautiful stats here. So Ellipsis looking very, very strong. coming into this game. What is Rogue going to do to step it up? We're going to have to see. I feel like we need to see a little bit more hype from them. They're looking a little bit tired. You know, the sidelines, having some drinks, having some lollies. I just feel like we need some more hype. Like we said, they're a team that runs on vibes, and I feel like maybe the vibes are just a little bit subdued at the moment.
Yeah. Still have to celebrate some good moments, like the defense causing the turnover for Ruiz to get the block. So they just have to trust the process here, trust their structures, and stay disciplined. No surprises to see the Ellipsis zone out in force again. But Rogue do well with some 1-2 through the cup. They keep the disc moving, and that is key to getting through this zone. And they do it quite definitively. You can hear the call for match from the sideline, but they don't seem to have heard the call or not actioned it just yet. Lai, Chua, Janacek moving the disc well. And Janacek now. They are close, and Chua, does she jump it in? There's a call of there's a call of out. It will be discussed.
Yeah, and everyone says, go, go, go. And Rogue. Excellent work through that zone, wasn't it? Little small balls through the cup. I love when we were talking about maybe a quarter of the way down the field, just absolutely breaking over that cup, and that's exactly what you need to do to break through these zone plays, isn't it?
And this is a bit of a change in their personnel on the line. So this looks more like their D-line. Chua, Janacek, Lai. Guess after their O-line's been on for several points, you know, broken 4 times, they do need a bit of a spell. So very impressive. That was Rogue's first clean hold of the game. The very first point being a dirty one. So the D-line looking very clean on offense.
Yeah, I know. You know, O-line. I have to admit, I'm a bit of an O-line hero. I love going on, scoring a point, and then going off. I do have such a big appreciation for any of the D-lines having to go on there, make the turn, and then get the goal. So, you know, I guess, you know, the D-line on Rogue gets their little glory.
I really like the fact that the D-line weren't afraid to attack through that cup. They used their legs. They were crashing from behind, from in front. They were cycling really nicely. I think most of the line there got their mitts on the disc, and a very similar line coming out again here. Thea Osmond, a big rip. That outside in shape helps to keep that disc in. Gets a little roll as well to boot. So Ma to Tracy Chong. The 2 Chong sisters getting involved. Mian attacks that and rips one long. She's got Anderson in the space, but many bodies also arriving, and not sure how, but ends up with the disc in hand. Farnkoff now, swinging across to Chong. Again, moves it across to Ma. Chong gets it back. And Rogue defense doing well to contain, cover those initial few looks. Chong takes a swipe, but Lai really frantic on that mark, which helps with Lee to get that turn. So Rogue D-line really on fire now.
Yeah, doing such a good work. And we're saying, look long.
So Carpenter moves it up to Rico. Rogue, they're smelling, and Osmond with a one-handed grab behind. They can smell this opportunity, smell the break. Staying composed, Rico up to Light. The continuation, little slow to get going. Has to move it back and sideways to Osmond. Rico, high release to Osmond. Almost there. They say not in just yet. Oh, and Chua with the goal. Osmond to Chua to peg a break back for Rogue.
That's 2 in a row, isn't it? For Chua. Excellent work. And a huge, huge bid. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but my goodness, that was, you know, desperation on the line, wasn't it? Let's have a look here.
That was a beautiful high release by Rico just to ride that wind. Place it perfectly in front of Osmond, and that is a nice step through the mark there to get steps ahead. And Rogue, so Elissa Chua involved in both of Rogue's breaks. The first one throwing the assist and the second one scoring the goal. So Elissa Chua coming alive for Rogue, along with Rogue's D-line, who got a perfect clean hold and then a perfect clean break.
I know, hey, almost got to switch into the O-line, hey. Excellent work from Rogue, and they are creeping back. Now we're looking at a 5-4 game. Here we go. It's getting exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, don't mind a bit of interline rivalry. The D-line goes, you know, O-line, you're not getting the job done. Let's show you how it's really done.
Yeah, look, I've got all the respect for the D-line. The amount of grind that those people have, insane. Could never be me.
And that's a pretty good pull from Rico. You can see already Lorenzen down on the mark, applying plenty of pressure on Meehan. Oh, Ma has to bid. She does. Keeps the disc in hand, points as she wants a long one. The bladey throw. Well received by Weatherall. Egan Griffiths, smart, work it together. Now O'Connor, she flips one quickly in the middle to Chong, and quick as you like, Ellipsis with a clean hold of their own.
Yeah, that was easy peasy, wasn't it, almost? Just running through there. So I'm having a look at the Rogue defense, and it looks like they got a little floating poach in the middle there. Let's have a look at this. Beautiful swing. Just completely open there. Wow. With Chong. Excellent work from the Ellipsis squad there. There's not too much you can do about that, hey. O'Connor to Chong. What a dream team. So we're looking at a 6-4 game now. What is Rogue going to do to respond? So coming in on the downwind, and we saw a couple of finger pointing saying go long on these downwind points. So I'm excited to see a few big hucks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rogue, their scores have mainly come through the small ball to get things moving past that kind of first wall of defense. Then they've managed to get some nice flow with some kind of mid-range gainers. I think Lippy have been a little bit more trigger happy to put up those big shots.
Well, they've got the throwers to do it, and they've got the receivers to do it, so why not?
Yeah, and I think Rogue also giving up a little bit of height. Their lines and their personnel seem to lose a few centimetres on Lippy on average. But they start off with a small ball. So we see a 4-person cup. You can see all of them jumping at once, biting onto Chong's fake. Bub trapped on this sideline. Okay, so we've got Ladamados here, trapped on this sideline. Can they get it out? She does with a backhand, but they lose meters. Pigeon out. So unfortunately, that aggressive shot by Ladamados to get it to the high side doesn't result in much continuation downfield. So Rogue are forced again into this trap side, but Ladamados doing a heap of work, making sure to move it through. This time they do get it out, but the Ellipsis zone now catching up and containing. Ladamados with an aggressive shot through to Bub. Caught it despite the defensive pressure of Chin. Just a little reset. There is no one in that dump space for Rogue. They've got to reposition. And Ruiz instead sweeps it through. Swathes of hands. They're finally out now. So Pigeon, Owens, transition to match. Bub. Got to stay composed here, Rogue. And Owens does to Ladamados. That was hard work, but Rogue come good with that hold.
How was Ladamados in that point? My goodness, she did so much hard work. And yeah, you can see what that Ellipsis zone is trying to do. They are trying to trap her on this really tricky sideline. It is hard work trying to get it back that way, because that throw, crosswind, upwind is so tricky. Let's have a look here. So getting free. Owens And Latamatos is just sneaking out, and a beautiful laser pass by Owens there.
And we've got John Greenfield here who's got some special comments.
Yes, just listening there to Caro Ma on the sideline talking to her fellow offensive players. She's worried about them being too static in the backfield against the rogue zone, and she wants the downfield girls to move from side to side to try and dislodge those defenders in the zone from rogue.
Thank you, John Greenfield, for the update. Our sideline reporter. We see a big pull go up for Rogue. Ellipsis looking for a downfield, downwind.
So Ma immediately goes the big option, looking for me in. There's some pressure from Dos Santos Lee, but that is a one-throw score for Ellipsis Asterisk to hold.
Oh my goodness, and that's exactly what you want to do on those downwind points. Full send. And why wouldn't you when you have receivers like that? Oh, just looking a little bit sore. Maybe got cleated on the toe there. Be really painful. I've definitely lost a couple of toenails in my time to a cleat or two. Yeah, Ellipsis getting around that. Let's have a look here. Picking up and just an incredible flick huck. Floaty. Long into the hands. Not much you can do about that as a defender, but my gosh. That was Dos Santos Lee. Good option, good bid there. And Ma, we said she had a couple of words to her team, and yeah, I mean, she's taken the charge, isn't she?
Yeah, no surprises. Kari Ma standing up when in the big moments.
And so we're looking at 7-5, so Ellipsis just one away from taking half.
So Ellipsis absolutely singing along now, very much in tune with each other. Getting the cheers from the sideline. We heard Jess Parks, their captain, asking them to split the sideline, make sure they're continuing to have good communications both ways. So the wind gusts up a little now.
Ooh, yes, it does.
So, that was fantastic defensive effort by Botham Clark. And again here by Egan Griffiths, but Chung keeps disc in hand, slices that one across to Ruiz. Opts for the inside to Chung, looking for Bub. That one's going to float out the sideline. Yeah. That is heartbreak for Rogue.
I mean, good option there. Bub was free. She was out in the middle of the end zone out by herself. But yeah, just that wind, just taking it just where we didn't want it to go. So going to come in on that corner here, and this is going to be tough for Ellipsis.
Yeah, although I have to credit the Ellipsis defense there. I feel like the close bids. So although Egan Griffiths and Botham Clark, they didn't get the, outright block, shall we say, they applied that extra pressure to make the Rogue offense be very, very frantic with the disc. Yep. I think, Chung went, I just want this disc out of here. You can feel that defense. You can feel it really just, and there's a call here.
Travel call, I can see by hand signals of Game Advisor. Like little human rule books, they know all the signals. Coming in on 0.
Oh, Egan Griffiths, that one, an uncharacteristic mistake, turfs to the ground. So Rogue get it off quickly to Chung. Chung tells him to clear out. So she's got space to work with, but there is a pick downfield.
Yeah, so looking off a couple of those shots, definitely. A few of them could have been on, but not happy. Want to look for those 100% ones. So it's somewhere between 4 and 5 or something like that.
Opting for the safe dump. The stack have to readjust, and they do. So asking Chung to throw the break around, which she does to Ruiz. Just resetting back. So Oh, Maddie Owens now creeps free on that break side. Nothing Brass can do about it. So a nice way to wrangle back that hold for Rogue.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see her doing a couple of little creeps on the other side as well, as Cheong was looking for a couple of throws into that end zone there. And it is, I mean, these girls are elite, but it can be quite tricky as you start getting towards that end zone. You just want to get it in there. You just want that point finished. And it takes a lot to be patient with that disc, but that was that 100% option that they were looking for with Owens.
So interestingly, since that last break that Rogue pegged back to 4-5, it's been hold since. So Rogue, although not looking particularly convincing on offense, have been able to get the job done in this last patch of play.
100%. So if we have a look here, so Ellipsis still on the 7, Rogue on the 6, so Ellipsis looking to take half as they come down on offense.
You can see Lyra Meehan giving instructions, getting everyone on the same page. They want to have a nice clean hold here because that will give them confidence finishing this half well and going to the next. So Rogue again with a zone look, 3 up front, 3 in the second line and the 1 deep. So Farnkoff goes out wide. Chong, Lee flapping her hands. Tar also doing a good job with her defensive pressure. But Meehan says, I'm going to get this one out, but just misreads that one. Turned the wrong way as Meehan went up with the disc. So the zone of Rogue proving to be effective.
Yeah, that was a monster throw. Hey, the wind definitely caught that one and took it with it. But yeah, Rogue zone looking threatening. See, running it in. We're going to start with the foot on that front of that end zone and off we go.
So the offense is very spread out for Rogue. Doesn't look like a very clear structure. We can see a lot of the Ellipsis defenders sagging in front and goes and almost gets a Callahan attempt.
I was about to say, they're in the danger zone.
Yeah, nice little deflection. I think nudged the disc into the end zone, and had she caught that, would have been way to end the first half. But
yeah.
Lippy now on the doorstep. Ma around break to Weatherall, and that is the first half. Ellipsis Asterisk up over Rogue.
Wow. And the 2 defense as well, and she still managed to get it. You can just tell Rogue they knew she was going to be the isolation, and yeah, too good. Did it anyway.
Yeah, easy set play for Ellipsis, utilising their plethora of stars to grind out this first half. The 4 break points in a row, that was absolutely, deafening in terms of shutting down the noise of Rogue. So we have a look here, gets a deflection and almost gets a bit on that catch.
Yeah. So lots of excitement in this first half as we go into halftime. Ellipsis 8, Rogue 6. And what is Rogue going to do in this next half to bring it back, I wonder?
I think they take an inspiration, right? So they were the ones who actually got the first taste of blood. They got a break up in the very second point of the game. But then Ellipsis held and then went up 4 breaks straight, right? So Ellipsis just calibrating a bit earlier to the wind, adjusting their throws to the conditions. Rogue having a couple of execution errors here and there. But their D-line has been humming along beautifully. They've put on plenty of intense defensive pressure. Their D-line had a clean hold, actually, and then immediately broke cleanly as well, 2 in a row. So their D-line is going well. The O-line are the ones who are going to have to just polish things up and tidy things. They're looking a little messy downfield, making cuts but perhaps not clearing. So Rogue, everything in their hands at the moment to try and peg this bronze medal match back. We will be back after half.
It's on.
As we settle back here in the second half of this women's bronze medal match at the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 1. Ellipsis Asterisk were able to get up 4 breaks in a row. Rogue managing the 2 breaks in the first part and then the middle part of that half. So 2 breaks in it at the moment. What are the Rogue team going to do?
Yeah, well, I was actually just listening into their little huddle, and it was about being present. It was about taking responsibility and accountability for yourself and making sure you give 100%, because they know that they can win this game if they make it work. So every single person on that team is going to be giving their absolute all. Now, you're in the Ellipsis huddle, weren't you?
Yeah, so the Ellipsis side obviously very confident after that first half. The message was all about playing together, enjoying the moment, you know, the sisterhood. You know, this is the final match of a long tournament after a very long season. Their specific instructions on offense were to try and hit the high side, so they don't want to be trapped on this close sideline, and also to make sure that they attack every single disc. I mean, 2 breaks up, they do have the luxury. All they need to do is continue holding, but I'm sure that the D-line will want to get some defensive blocks and some scores of their own. So Rico goes up with a pull against some gusty wind. Chong. So Rogue, you can see hot mark of Janacek. Now Ma with the disc, forcing the way back to the middle. So they do put on this zone with the players prioritising this space just in front of the disc, but they collapse to match now. And they are interestingly forcing flick. Oh, and that is a fantastic block there. Dos Santos Lee gets up high against Lai. Moves it up quickly through to Lamb. Fakes long. Oh, and a cheeky little inside to back to Lai. Rico now swinging across to Chua, who was pivotal for both of their break points. Janacek now in the open side space. Fakes off the underlooks. Safely back to Chua, and a nice continue to Lamb. So Rogue continuing to stay patient, stay controlled. Oh, Rico, what a beautiful low release. Lamb has been really involved in this point. Rico to Lamb for the score. Rogue hit the ground running with the first half.
Yeah, and that is very strong from Rogue, just working it up, all the patience in the world. And yeah, I think, you know, coming from the coach, presence. Everyone was taking accountability. They were throwing, they were catching, they were giving their 100% options, and that is the result. Another score on the board.
I have to say the D-line are absolutely getting the job done. I'd love to see them out for another.
Coach, put me on.
Put me on, coach. All right. So you see here Chong. That was a good look, but just lifted up a little bit. But Dos Santos Lee, just with hops here, gets up high. One hand brings that one down. And I really love how controlled this D-line offense is. Lamb gets involved plenty of times, generating nice little undercuts. And this one, realizing that Chong was already behind her after applying the mark. Just a little cheeky one. And, oh, Rico, that is such a beautiful low pivot. Just so balanced. There was also a really nice shot earlier with this little inside backhand. I believe it was Lamb to Chua. That was absolutely beautiful. So Rogue showing us their throwing skills as well. So good to see in the women's division. So Chong, Ma, Egan Griffiths. Keep it on the high side as requested, but this one's going to go high. Weatherall managing to snaffle it down. Back to Griffiths. So this zone look again for the D-line. Ooh, that was a close one, but Meehan goes to attack that disc. And now they wrangle it through the small corridor. The defense setting again, but just the tiny window of space. Egan Griffiths to Ma.
Wow! What recognition of that little tiny slither of space that we had. And excellent work. That was Ma just creeping out of the back into that end zone there. I wouldn't have seen it if I was on the field. And let's have a look at this. And dumping it back. Just sneaking off, just casually, and beautiful leading pass into that end zone, right on the corner. Excellent work from the Ellipsis team, and that's 2 up on the upwind, hey?
Yep. So as we said, the players calibrating, maybe preferring this upwind direction. We did speak about the significance of an upwind break earlier. So Rogue manages to get the upwind break in that first point of the second half. So this was the opportunity to get the second, but Lippy putting on a very strong throwing line. We had Egan Griffiths, Ma, Meehan, Chong, all being very controlled and patient and using, like you said, that tiny space that was offered, somehow squeezing it through that far sideline.
Yeah, so we're seeing a couple of big game players step up for Ellipsis. So we've got Egan Griffiths with 3 assists, Ma with 2 assists and 1 goal. And here we go with a big pull right to that back end zone. Let's go.
So Ladamatos to Chung to Bub. Lippy with a zone of their own. That disc is going to fall a little bit too far in front for Ladamatos. So Valancourt with a high release. Correa Gomez dives, but the disc dies first. Chung pivoting, and Lippy already having set their zone. So Ladamatos, she had to work so hard to try and get it off that sideline in an earlier point. This time just a small dishy to reset the disc to Chung. Oh, and heat there by Chin, but Ladamatos catches that disc. Can Ruiz get there? Liddell beats her. So Lippy again with possession here. And that one floats a long time, but Correa Gomez able to bring it down patiently. Moves the disc up to Law, Valancourt. And a long option to Liddell. And that is a break to Ellipsis Asterisk.
Yeah, awesome work. And how about that huck? My goodness, just fully sent into so much space, just creeping out the back there. was Meehan, I believe. Oh, no, nope. Not she was not the player. Valancourt. She's been all over her, hasn't she? Yeah. Beautiful work. 34. There we go. Liddell. Excellent work there. Just sneaking out the back. Perfectly placed there by Valancourt. Not much you can do about that. Yeah, Ellipsis with the break. Looking strong as we go to 10-7. So Rogue gonna have to get this downwind O point. And we know there's a couple of players that do like to do a bit of a full send. So let's see.
Have to say, Valancourt involved in 3 out of their 5 break points, either as the assist or the goal scorer. So Molly Valancourt having a fantastic day on D.
Yeah, absolutely ripper. Hey. Awesome work. And as we can see, the beautiful Adelaide Hills over there. Beautiful wine comes from that area. Actually, lots of wine comes around from this area. Me as a wine girly, happy girl living in South Australia, Adelaide.
Beautiful place to be. Beautiful place to be here in the bronze medal match. The winner of this one gets to take home some silverware, and a send goes from Chung. She's got a couple of receivers, including Owens and Rogue. They get their 1 pass hold.
Yeah, I said we wanted a full send, hey, and a full send was delivered. And Owens with the absolute read. My gosh, and like a big pack grab as well. Look, I'm a bit of a taller player, but put me in a pack grab and I can't read a disc. So shout out to Owens. It's a skill as we go up. Look at this, floating. Wow, excellent work. And Parks is trying her absolute best to stop it. But no, not quite enough. As we go to a 10-8 game, it's shaping up to be an absolute ripper. My goodness, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love that confidence. You know, Chung, I think, has dialed in her throws a bit now, and when you have that slight downwind direction, it's a matter of controlling that disc. So she did well not to put too much oomph in it, otherwise it would have gone well too far. This one placed very well for Owens, having the confidence that she was going to beat her matchups and more in that pack grab.
Yeah, so now Ellipsis with the downwind. My gosh, are we going to see another full send? I think we will. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we do have Ma and Egan Griffiths on the line, so they're certainly not afraid to put it long. And Eva Weatherall, very handy receiver. I reckon she might be the target. But Rogue, I think they're going to be calling a switching defense, potentially a forced middle. We can hear the sideline communicate. Oh, and they do generate a turn. So, as we said, this Rogue D-line getting the job done. Can they complete the task here? Carpenter, the dump doesn't get free. So opts for Janacek now, who comes off the front of stack. Little dump across to Rico, who goes a really bladey option, but that one is going to fall well too short for Pigeon.
Yeah, I almost feel like that could have been a bit of wind interference there, turning the disc over just a little bit. It's so easy just to put a little bit too much touch on it, and the wind is not forgiving.
Yeah, that one really bladed almost vertically into the ground, so big shot goes up by Ma, but intercepted this time by Pigeon. So that was a lot of heat from to get a sniff. Lai has to go up early. Can she get there? She tries her darndest. So, couple of turnovers each. 3, in fact. Sorry, 4 for this possession or point. Jeez. Things are feeling very frantic now, Emma.
It's feeling desperate, isn't it? I know I said I wanted a full send, and I'm getting my wishes, but we've got to be getting those connections, hey.
Yeah, so it's already 5 turnovers in this point, and a couple of them were one-throw turnovers, so could hardly keep up. But Greenie here on top of it in the stats, and Lippy currently on top, but not if Rogue D-line have anything to say about that? The game is not over until it's over. Carpenter looks for a tiny upline to Lee. Ma tries to get into that space for a poach block. Releases Janacek out wide and Dos Santos Lee, that one spills the disc. And that one's going to be an overthrow there to O'Connor. So again, a couple of those one pass turnovers. And now the small ball works well for Rogue. Rico goes big, but that one was always going to be read by Egan Griffiths. So everyone getting a little too trigger happy. Karimar beckons for the undershot. Weatherall obliges. And now she goes a big shot to but Janacek is going to get in the way. She gets enough of a tip and deflection to earn possession back.
Wow, isn't it just absolute desperation? Although I think we have maybe an injury call there. Let's have a look at this.
So Janacek, yeah, so she's drawn under the disc, but reads it enough, gets just that full finger extension out to push it above Ng's hands.
Yeah, absolute full stretch using all of her height to get that disc there.
No surprises, Eunice Chung coming on for some offensive power. So clearly the D-line able to earn possession, but the conversion is the hard part. And so Eunice, probably, very much Rogue's most powerful and skillful thrower. Pretty handy sub on. So that is 9 turnovers in total for this point for only 20 passes. So basically turns are happening every 2 passes on average.
Yeah, I think whoever's going to get this goal is going to be the one who can basically just keep possession, hey?
Yep. So see if Eunice Chen can do that for Rogue. She goes up. That's a really narrow channel, but Chua, well done in the space. They now work it up quickly before the defense sets, continuing to use this small ball on the legs. Janacek. That one is a turnover, so very spirited by Chung to recognize she did not have control of that one. O'Connor dumps across. Wasn't sure who the intended target was. Both Egan Griffiths and Farncroft disc landing between them, but Lee and Rico work it through for Rogue. This is their best opportunity yet. And Janacek sits through the fingers and the back tee by Egan Griffiths.
Just hands out.
And a timeout called. No surprises after turnover number 12. Everyone on their hands and knees will take a breath here.
Yeah, these are always some of the points where, you know, if you happen to be off for that point, you're like, oh, thank gosh. So much desperation by both of the teams there, and the fatigue is setting in, and you can really see. I feel like maybe the decisions aren't quite, you know, what we would expect. And I think definitely that fatigue has got a lot to do with it. You know, so many games in, so many days in. It's just your brain's exhausted, your legs are exhausted, you got blisters on your toes. It's a hard slog, but you know, only one team at the end of this is going to end up with a medal around their neck. So it's going to be who's going to step it up, who has got that grit, who has got the guts.
Yeah, for sure, Emma. I think this point is really crucial, right? Because Ellipsis have had the better of Rogue now for the last patch. And Rogue, if they can get the disc out of Ellipsis' hands again, convert a break to go up 9-10 versus 11-8, you know, score cap at 15, it's a big difference. And Rogue, you know, a team like Ellipsis, you don't get opportunities easily.
Oh, no.
So when you do have the opportunity, you need to be able to convert it. Otherwise, you know, they're not going to give you that many more shots.
Yep, 100%. Anything you get from Ellipsis, you need to treasure it. So we're going to see, so Ellipsis is going to set up in their offense, and then once they're all happy and set, then Rogue is going to set up in their defense. So looks like we're running a pretty hard match, which I'm enjoying. I think that's good.
Yeah, horizontal set here very clearly. So you can see that Rogue defenders are mostly backing, which means that they are positioning their body and their shoulders a little bit behind the the Lippy offense, trying to persuade them to move forward into this space. But they opt for a dump, and Karima goes a long option. Weatherall there, the intended receiver. Pigeon also there, manages to tap that out of Weatherall's hands.
That is absolutely huge for Pigeon. She was just on her heels the entire way. Look at this.
Pigeon flying up, swatting that one away. She knows what receivers want and was hell-bent on deterring that one.
Rogue with another chance.
So Janacek up to Rico, one-handed, that one bobbles and slips, very disappointed with herself there, Rico. Lippy get it moving quickly, that is a bladey shot. O'Connor comes up with the disc. Farnkoff now finds O'Connor, and after that very long point with 14 turnovers, Asterisk comes away with a hold.
Yeah, we were saying how crucial that point was. I think Lippy will be very, very happy getting that one and getting a little bit of a break after a huge point. Everyone's getting their steps in today. Going to be some sore legs on the plane home.
Yeah, what a way to grind. I think Rogue, they can take a lot of positives out of generating so many turnovers, but just disappointment at being unable to convert. So Asterisk looking to get the disc moving quickly. I didn't think that O'Connor was going to manage to get that one, but body position did very well to position her chest behind the flight of the disc, and that enabled her to stop rotation both with the hands and also body for the backup. And then just a quick flip across.
Yeah, and O'Connor's got the flames on the side of the head. And yeah, that was hot stuff, wasn't it? Excellent work from Lippy to grind out that point. So we're going to be seeing Rogue on a downwind offense as we can feel the wind continuing to pick up. It's creating some havoc.
Yeah, windy, and with the wind chill, it feels quite cold today with a lot of cloud cover. I see a few of the players popping on some trackies when they're on the sideline just to stay warm. I mean, especially when you've got some of those particularly long points with multi-turnovers. You've got to try and keep your muscles warm and keep them limber. So Rogue having to work small ball inside this oppressive Ellipsis Cup. Ladamados now, they are past halfway. Bub fakes along to get the cup off balance. Owens crashes in, has to go backwards a little. But Rogue are being forced to sideline. Eventually, that is a nice shot through the cup to Owens, to Ruiz, Bub, and now on the doorstep with Pigeon. Looking for Owens, she does find her, so Rogue with a nice clean hold, requiring only the 12 passes this time to succeed.
Yeah, excellent work there. That Ellipsis zone is absolutely on lock, hey. It is so hard for those Rogue players to be getting off this sideline. They're doing an excellent work there, but yeah, just that little shot through completely breaks things open, doesn't it? Let's have a look here. On the doorstep, faking, and boom, little laser through. And Preston with just the last minute desperation, just a little lay, trying to stop it, but unfortunately cannot be done.
Ooh, she was close on that one too.
Close, hey. Owen's very happy with herself. So I kind of named her as a bit of a big game player, and we're seeing that with a good 3 goals, 2 assists for Madeline Owens. There is a second Owens on the team. There's Charlotte Owens.
Yeah, that's right. The two of them sisters. So Maddie being the older one. She's, like we said, one of the Australian representatives, having played on the Barramundis mixed team last year at World Ultimate Games, and I'm sure with Charlotte Owens, she won't be too far behind. I'm sure she'll be earning some top representative experience from herself as well. So interestingly with this matchup, Asterisk actually had a loss to Rogue 10-15 during pool play, but they have turned the tides here in the bronze medal. Karumar having to go horizontal, controls that with a single hand. Chong being very reliable this tournament for Lippi. And they work it up more than halfway. Caro goes a big hammer too. He is all alone. The Rogue defenders never had a look.
You know how much I love a hammer, and that was incredible. Oh my gosh, excellent work there. I think poor Ma got a face full of grass. She's got the tongue out going, ugh, full of dirt. But no, that was absolutely huge. That was I'm really bad with distance, but let's have a look here.
Half field, at least.
At least half field hammer. She says, nope, look off. Boom, stole 3 hammer. See you later. Perfectly placed.
Yeah, I think Osman just got a little bit too sucked in trying to help that wing, and so left that far side exposed. Very intelligent with her space here, setting herself up perfectly to receive it, knowing that with a thrower with that much confidence and that much skill as Karumar, she's got to stand in the space and she'll pick, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need to watch that on replay a few times so I can understand how to do a hammer properly. Hey, they never come out looking like that. Mine always kind of are, vertical.
So Asterisk running away with it now. They are up to 12-9. So only 3 more points until they get to the magical number of 15 for the bronze medal. Liddell, that is a beautiful pull. Lots of penetration. Well received by Ladamatos, who moves it up to Chung. Owens. Pigeon now. So the switching force by Ellipsis, that one causes an overthrow. Ladamatos, Chung, that one falls away from her. So Parks now, frantic mark by Owens to try and earn it black, but that one is a cold drop by Valancourt after being on an absolute hot streak earlier. And that is a conversion well needed for Rogue to stay in touch.
Yeah, and that was Owens again. She's having an absolute field day out there. Gobbling up anything that's in the air.
Owens now on the stat board with 4 goals and 2 assists, but her hard work in that undercut space, and then with some nice continuation looks being crucial to her team staying in touch.
And just have a look at how beautifully poised that throw was by Chung. My goodness.
Yeah, you can see Panya Preston. Interesting to see, she pointed that way. I thought the force might be going there, but when she sets up, actually seems to be forcing backhand. We did hear some sideline calling about away and home as we see Maddie Owens here. She would absolutely love for her team Rogue to peg another one back. As we said, the D-line have been successful with breaking Asterisk. And, also the confidence from getting a win against them in pool play. Hopefully that'll be enough to try and spur Rogue on. Come to life in this bronze medal match.
Yeah, they know they can do it. They've done it once before. Can they do it again when it really matters? That's the question, isn't it? Looks like we're going for a... I thought we were going to go for a flick huck, but no, we went with the backhand.
So this upwind pull from Rico doesn't penetrate quite as much as Liddell's from the previous point. They set up an arrowhead zone here. So Lai getting her hands busy in front of Egan Griffiths. Works up to Ma. She going to play another hammer?
I'd love it.
And that goes for a dump back. Oh, and Egan Griffiths carves that beautifully into Ma's lap. She also goes for a beautiful catch by Weatherall. Janacek looks at her fingers going, you were so close. Why are you not larger?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, unfortunately, just not quite enough to get those fingertips there. Let's have a look here.
Look at that throw from Egan Griffiths, just riding the wind perfectly to Caro Ma. No way the defense was going to get near that. And then Ma with the exact same shape. Janacek almost poaches off to get there. She's like, fingers, be longer, get there.
I almost think she had a little touch to that, actually, on the underside.
Now see if we can get a good shot of this one. The cam op's hard at work for ULTI.TV here. Oh, she was so close.
Yeah, so close. And I was hoping Ma was going to do a hammer. Not going to lie. She looked like she was going to do it, and I was like, oh. But no, just with standard. I believe that was a flick. To be honest, I'm too excited. My little brain's just like one thing out, the other thing, too much going on for me.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rogue defenders also thought exactly the same as you, but uh-oh, is this going to be a Caramel hammer? I got to come and protect this break side, which opened up the open side. So
yeah, 100%.
Riddell, another nice floaty pull. Is this one going to stay in? It does. I wouldn't be surprised if Ellipsis get that zone on to pin Rogue to the sideline, and it is true. But Chung whips one through. Liddell surely with steps ahead of Owens.
That was, if Owens was on the other side, ooh, dangerous.
I don't mind the aggressive look by Chung, right? You've got to do something here. And sometimes, you know, we were talking about Caro Ma going for that hammer and then making the defenders a little unnervy, having to protect that break side. You know, if you're going to throw that long huck, it keeps the defenders accountable, right? It's like, you know, we are not afraid of you. We have a long game. And so next time, the defenders are more wary of having to protect that deep space, which can open up that under space a bit easier for you. So I don't mind that look, but I just don't know if Rogue are running out of time here. Lippy up 13-10 already. So Preston, beautiful upline gainer here. Floats it really nicely to Chin. This one, short one to Law. And again, Rogue helping out the defense by calling the force. Preston gestures for Chong to come closer. That one is a hand block by Ang, and she slaps it down to make sure of it.
Like, absolutely no one is getting there, and I think we might have a Tarcode's disc.
So see the replay here. Look at Ang just wipes the hands down once and then twice, and then just dives on top of the disc to make sure of it.
Yep, exactly. And I think we're looking for a new disc because she did such a good job that, you know.
So definitive.
Yeah, and it was definitely down. So come back in.
If you can't catch your Ds, squash them.
Yep, exactly.
And so Lippy defense again looking to trap Rogue to this close side. Baban Ladamados. Now Owens gets involved in the cup. Not a lot of movement from Rogue. So that makes it a very difficult throw through the cup, but succeeding through to Ladamados, and they now find that high side, but they get trapped again to coming into this close sideline, a much more difficult area to work in. But now Ellipsis allow them to get several 1-2s. Chung telling everyone to clear out, make some space, but she doesn't need a lot of it to squeeze that one through to Maddie Owens.
And Owens yet again. My gosh, and that was a sneaky little pass through, wasn't it? Just under the arm. And yeah, Owens adding another one to her resume, looking for 5 goals now. Is she going to be the person from Rogue that is going to be one of those just key game players, big game players? Certainly could be.
Well, for now, the O-line are holding up their end of the bargain. It is now the D-line's time to shine. Can they get possession and convert the break?
There's only 2 goals in it. Like, it's not insurmountable.
Not at all, not at all.
Yeah, Rogue's going to have to work hard, but like we said, they've done it once. They can do it again. As we come into the 83-minute mark of our game at 13-11. Cheong to Owens, and Cheong is putting up 4 assists. My gosh, she's having an absolutely ripper of a game. I think she's one of those big game players as well, isn't she?
So Rogue trusting their usual D-line They haven't brought, the likes of Chung or Owens for some extra offensive pressure. They are trusting the line to get the job done. So a nice little roll, gains a few extra meters, and Chong a little bit of a delay in picking it up. So Rico gets the assignment here, has to orbit all the way around to stop that dump, and they do well to force a high stall throw, but that one floats enough for Weatherall to catch it. She goes a high release. That one, O'Connor also diving to save possession. And they now settle down. Lippy knocking on the door. A slightly behind shot to Anderson. Farnkoff is looked off. Egan Griffiths isn't. And that her hat comes off in the process. There looks like to be a call because Karima all alone there on that break side doesn't look to be quite right.
Yeah, so I think there was a pick hole in the stack, but then Egan Griffiths throws it away. So will the turn stand?
Well, I think Karima had a pretty good argument that when she heard the call, she stopped, which means that it affected players. You can see here she already signals the picks and she's slowing down. So,
yeah. So we'll see. The game advisor has jumped in there, so he'll give a little bit of help to make a bit of a decision on this.
Only if the players ask for it. So
yeah.
As we know that game advisors are there and available should the players want their perspective or some clarification on the rules, but they don't tend to get involved unless asked.
Yep. And yeah, it looks like we're going to go back to Egan Griffiths on the line pretty well.
Yeah, no surprises. I think just establishing what the stall count was when the call was made.
So coming in on, I think maybe 3 or 4.
So Ma comes back in support. She goes back and then forwards. Chong now on the close sideline. Oh, and there was a tip on that one. Rico, I believe, got the D, but there may be some discussion about whether that was legitimate.
Yeah, it certainly looked very exciting from here, but whether she came through... Oh, look at this.
Get some really nice vision here. So Chong pivots. Rico.
Oh.
Had that disc been released from Chong's hand? Very difficult to tell from the replay there.
Yeah, so we got Mike Palmer on the camera giving us all the angles. And let's have a look again. I'm almost going to say that was a strip, but...
A nice...
It's so hard, isn't it? I think it's going to... Retract, yeah.
Retracted foul. So Chong does accept that, hey, okay, I had released the disc from my hands. And so the first pass, or Janicek's possession for Rogue, will stand. Oh, and a small dishy behind, but Rico, I think she's going to call an injury as well. Don't think that affected the goal, so the goal will stand. That was a bit of an awkward fall for Rico, but Lippy take it up to 14-11. They are knocking on the door for a bronze medal now.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. So those little ones can be really tricky. I think it just maybe just got caught on the fingers and trying her absolute most to stop that next pass, but just out in the open there, too difficult. Let's see here. Yeah, I think maybe just got caught on those fingers. Look, I've done it plenty of times before. It's always devastating when it's in such those high pressure moments though. But heads up, Rogue has to be perfect from here on out.
Yeah, so it's really heartbreaking for a D-line, right? When you create all these opportunities for yourself. Asterisk, they have only managed to cleanly hold 6 out of 12 points on offense. So Rogue getting the opportunities, it's just the ability to convert, which is making it very tough here, and perhaps a assignment too tough for them to come back from.
I mean, we've seen it, we have seen it, but it's hard work, isn't it, to try and come back. when Ellipsis is just one away from that bronze.
Yeah, so Liddell again with a nice pull and some decent distance. Arrowhead zone here for Lippy. Forcing Road to go side to side, but I like that Ladamados is trying to prioritise getting this to the high side. This one, who else but Maddie Owens in the space. High release to Chung, who comes galloping. Oh, and a fantastic shot to Anita Ung there. Just snuck it in underneath the defender's arms, caught face marking. So Rogue do well with an efficient clean hold.
Yeah, and they need it, don't they? 14-12 now. Let's have a look at this. Owens just all there all at once, isn't she? Absolutely everywhere on this field in this bronze medal match.
So Ung does well. She recognises that Chung is going to the exact same space as her. So she actually pulls out and clears away. You can see here in your far vision. So Ruiz here waits the disc, faked off. And you see Ung now coming into your vision on the right-hand side. She's open, but recognises that Chung is coming and has the better body position. So she retreats backwards, drawing the defender to come to her. But Chung with that quick throw and go, not afraid to move the disc with assertiveness.
Yeah, and you know, that's just Frisbee IQ, isn't it? Sports IQ, knowing where that space is on the field. And Rogue, they have to make the turn here. High pressure, high stakes. What is Rogue gonna do?
Is this going to be match point for Lippy? The usual O-line going to work. Got a zone from Rogue, forcing them to go backwards. So Chua now on Egan Griffiths, goes wide. Weatherall Tamar. Chong on the wide side. Now they get one through the little cup. The front wall, shall I say. Now Parks to O'Connor. That one is an overthrow. Oh, so Rogue. Can their D-line convert this one? So no surprises here. Eunice Chung has been brought over for some offensive power.
Agreed. Good look by Rogue.
And Owens as well. So they work it up now. Osmond to Pigeon. So bringing on some of their offensive line here. Wanting to try and maintain possession. Lai, who's been a real feature of this game on the D-line. Lots of fakes here. Gets it off eventually to Owens. So not much movement downfield. That one a risky shot, but it does come off. Carpenter now to the high side. Fakes from Chung, points where she wants it. She throws it to the break side. Osman and Rogue with a late break here to stay alive.
Wow. That is Rogue, way to put on a show. Absolutely incredible work. Small ball up the field. That sneaky little inside through. Just here, Carpenter to Cheong. She's been an absolute weapon this game, hasn't she? And just perfectly placed. Osmond out and leading. My goodness, Rogue is saying, Ellipsis, you are not getting this bronze without a fight if we can have our say. Wow, what a pass. I think we're going to have to have a few replays of that one as well. Make sure it's... I know how to throw like that. That's my ultimate goal, hey. And I believe... Now I thought we might have... Yeah, okay, so we're looking at a timeout, and I think that's quite a strategic one. You know, this could be match point if it goes Ellipsis's way. So Rogue needing 2 to get there. So we see a couple of our super fans on the sideline. And my gosh, we are in for an excellent game. I'm so excited. I've got a big smile on my face. This is finals, isn't it? This is finals Division 1 Australian Nationals. Wow.
It's been a while since Rogue have broken. So the last time Rogue broke Asterisk, it was the very first point of this second half. I was worried that they had left it too late, but looks like their spirits are now high, and so will they have momentum now? Greenie, you've listened into the huddle. You can tell us what was said.
Yeah, I've just been in the Rogue huddle. Alex Ladamatos, the coach, has said, I want this moment to last forever. We play Rogue Ultimate no matter what the conditions, no matter what the score. We play Rogue Ultimate, and we're going to win.
Wow, that's some inspirational words, isn't it? I'm inspired. I hope you're inspired watching as well. My gosh, I feel like I could do anything right now. My adrenaline's so high.
So juicy lineup. No surprises here. They've kept quite a few of the personnel for Rogue online. Eunice Chung now with her 3rd point on in a row. She's got Pigeon, she's got Chua, she's got Janacek, Osmond, Lai, who's been so good this game, and Charlotte Owen. So they've put on this arrowhead zone. Lippy with a slight upwind direction to the offense. Egan Griffiths to Mar, but Janacek gets in front, forces her to go up early. There's going to be some chat about whether there was contact made.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this.
So Janacek comes in. It looks pretty clean from this angle.
Yeah, whether maybe... Yeah, I'm not too sure.
It looks like the foul is accepted as the disc ends up in Mar's hands. And Chua got the assignment. Egan Griffiths pushes her up, but unable to stop that 3rd option with the jink back. So it's Tracy Chong now. Osmond marking her pretty flat force, but she goes a long option looking for Liddell. Manages to catch it with her pinkies. Tracy Chong now in the dump space. Egan Griffiths, she's been here plenty of times before. Medal on the line here. Can she do it in one? And upstairs. And that is the score by Eva Weatherall after a deflection from the Rogue defenders.
They say catchy D's, don't they? And my gosh.
Ellipsis Asterisk with a hard-fought bronze medal to show for all the efforts. They get on top of Rogue 15-13 after a late Rogue break, and aren't Lippy celebrating? They have been playing with joy all game, working hard, working together, running through on offense, and despite Rogue absolutely bringing up the challenge to them, show that they are all class and too good there with the finish.
Yeah, absolute heartbreak for Rogue, but they should not be walking away with their heads down. They put on an absolutely ripper of a show, didn't they? And yeah, you know, in the commentary box, we were like, oh, Ellipsis, they're running away with it. But Rogue said, absolutely not. We are not letting you have that medal easily. And as we can see, smiles from the coach. He knows that they put on absolutely 100% on that field. There is nothing left in the tank for Rogue. But congratulations to both our teams, and especially Ellipsis coming along with that bronze. Absolutely deserved it.
For sure, Rogue coming out firing. They had the very first break of the game, sniffed blood and went for it. But then Ellipsis went on an absolute tear to get 4 breaks in a row. That really deflated the Rogue offensive line. But their D-line came to life. They managed to secure a clean hold starting on offense and then an immediate clean break. So it was really the D-line of Rogue which kept them in it eventually. But, you know, traded a couple of breaks in that first half. Rogue manages to get a late break to extend the game. But ultimately, Ellipsis showing their class, working through their very skilled throwers, and also keeping their heads up as well to pick up some of those scraps, as Weatherall did cleanly in the end. So that does it for our women's bronze medal match at the Australian Ultimate Championships, with Ellipsis Asterisk coming away with the medal. Make sure you stay tuned for plenty more Ultimate. We have the very last game of the day. That will be the women's gold medal match at 1 o'clock local time, so stay tuned to start in about 20 minutes. That is Ellipsis Ampersand versus Manly Mavericks. Avril Tam alongside Emma Jaeger, ULTI.TV alongside the Australian Flying Disc Association. We are signing off for this bronze medal match.
ULTI.TV.